on It was like you were in my back pocket. It was like you were in my back pocket. Without you, I wouldn't have had the strength to say, right, this is my moment. This is my time. This is about time.
The power to do things and to get the proof was necessary for me. Going across the country seemed like a financial, what are you doing? But it was proof that we are powerful leaders. We are powerful people.
I really just want to thank you for the opportunity to rewire your brain. I was valuing things related to what I really want to do.
It was
just
it was
kidding,
like you were in my back pocket. Without you,
guys. Let's do this one.
Me? What can I say about Honey? Fantastic singer. Wicked vocalist. Like a gymnastic in vocals. We've done some wicked music together. We've been on tour. We've even done a duet together called Research. Fantastic. You want to check this out. My name, Omar. And I love her bad. See you later.
Here we go. What's up, y'all? This is Honey La Rochelle, aka the Mama Number, because I be out here calculating numbers, hearing all these intervals, and we are here every Wednesday. Oh, thank you. We're here live every Wednesday for a very short time, nerding out. We are dissecting songs, we are decoding harmonies, and today we are very lucky to have awesome conversation with one of my very favorite musicians, and she's just a badass. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I bring her to the stage, I want to just tell you a little bit about Miss Grace Kelly. She's an unequivocal musical prodigy. She's a singer, saxophonist, songwriter, composer, band leader, and she has her own masterclass. She's a beast, and I met her a couple years ago. We had the opportunity to tour together. She has so many accolades, so we invite you to check out her site and stay in touch. But without further ado, everyone, welcome to the stage, Miss Grace Kelly.
Hello, honey. Mama
Welcome.
Number. Thank you. Oh, wow.
Yes.
The crowd goes wild.
And the crowd goes wild because you deserve nothing less. What up,
Brings
sis?
me
How are
back.
you today?
Oh, I'm good. It brings me back to the days that we were touring together for that glorious Christmas tour with the one and
That
only
was so
Jonathan
good.
Butler. Let me tell y'all, when Honey came on stage and just opened her mouth and brought the beautiful spirit that she is, the audience just in love,
Aw.
crying, just
Aw.
myself in love, crying.
Me too. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. And that's exactly how I felt about you. So I'm honored that we get to have this conversation. And I'm so honored to have you as a guest on our brand new little show we're creating here. So
Awesome. I'm
thank
so
you.
excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I don't know how much you know about this series and what I'm up to, but basically I've been spending for the last 6 or 7 months designing an online course called Sing by Numbers. And Sing by Numbers is, the point is that it gets to teach singers the language of music through numbers, which most musicians already know, but most singers don't speak that language. So
Yep.
it was inspired because I was having a conversation with an artist friend of mine who's already touring. She's badass. She's been band leading. And she and I had done some shows together. And in rehearsal, of course, I'm speaking numbers to the band. And she was like, I would love to know how to do that. So it's like, even if you're a professional vocalist already earning money, for instance, I mean, most singers' biggest complaint is they want to earn more. They
Yeah.
want more gigs. They want to create more opportunity.
Yep.
So Sing by Numbers is here to create those opportunities and make you more hireable as a vocalist and make you more desirable in the band. A band leader is going to call the singer that makes it easier for them, right?
Totally. Absolutely. No, I remember when you were first telling me about this this new way of teaching, and I was really so excited to hear about it. And I think that's so spot on. Like for vocalists who are working with other band leaders, of course, if they're doing band leading themselves, but if they want to get more gigs and, work in that band setting, I think it's really important to be like fast on your feet, be able to know, to be able to transpose, be able to understand what's happening musically. And I think it can be a powerful way to be thinking about the numbers, thinking about the melodies. And ultimately, we're just like looking to be able to communicate with each other in a faster, more efficient way without slowing everything down and having to take a lot of time to then talk about, hey, what are these chords? What's the theory behind it? So I think that is the practice,
100%.
that people need to do at home. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. So that's why I wanted to invite you here. You are an incredible singer and songwriter, and oh my God, when you would sing that song during our Christmas tour, I would just melt. And I thought to myself, I hope I get to write something that fantastic one day, because it is just one of the most beautiful songs. But beside the point, you're a musician, right?
Mhm.
You're teaching musicians, you are leading musicians, and you are playing with some of the world's greatest musicians. So
Mhm.
my questions today are all going to be surrounding how numbers have supported you in all of this journey. Like, when have you noticed them come up? When were you like, I'm so glad I knew what they meant when they said 3 to the 5 or
Yeah.
2 to the 4? So just in general, can you just speak to how numbers have supported you in your career?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I was actually not trained in like solfege. That's something that I learned later when I was at Berklee College of Music. Um, I've always had very strong ears, so it's like if somebody could play me a line or sing me a line, I'd be able to sing or play it back. But I didn't really know, the specific names, especially in solfege. But I learned that later in college. And then I think where numbers have been really helpful is when you're learning chords, especially in like the jazz language, and there's chord progressions, such as one of the most common ones we'll see is a 2-5-1
Mhm.
progression, right? But those chords are all happening in the same scale,
Yes.
and so by being able to visualize the scale and say, okay, I know the root note, that's my number 1, I can easily calculate what is 2, which is the,
The
minor
next
second.
there.
Exactly, it's the minor second chord, so by knowing 1, I know what 2 is. Just go, I go up 1 whole step in the scale, and then I know what 5 is. Boom, I go to that 5th, scale degree. But so I use numbers all the time. Someone says to me, "Okay, this is a 3-6-2-5-1 chord progression." I know how to find those notes by calculating the numbers. I also know what it sounds like. I think that's also a really important thing that I talk to my students about. It's like we want to be singing, playing the piano or the guitar, really like getting it in our ears as well. And so every time I'm thinking about chords, I very much am thinking about them with numbers. It's also helpful when I'm transposing. So if I know like
Mm.
a riff or a lick is going da 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 da, I don't have perfect pitch. I have relative pitch. So I'm thinking if I need to transpose that quickly into another key, I go to numbers and I think, okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 1. And so now I know that's 1, 2, 3, 1 in any key. So now if I'm going to go to the key of B flat, what's 1 of B flat? Oh, it's B flat. And it makes it so much easier for me to transpose. And so that's something that I use regularly.
You heard it here first, folks. Grace Kelly uses her numbers, especially in chord progressions. And I'm hearing in transpositions as well when you're transposing. So, chord progressions. So, one of the things that we're doing inside of Sing by Numbers is we're analyzing melodies,
Love it.
and then we're analyzing for harmony, like just counting our way to harmony heaven. That's what we're always saying. It's
Yes.
like, okay, like sometimes harmonies are going to go parallel, right? They're
Mhm.
just going to go up and down in the same shape. And then sometimes they're going to spread apart or get closer together to create some color, some dynamic. So sometimes you have a fourth instead of a third, or you have a
Right.
second instead of a third, right? In general, in harmonies, you're usually finding the third first.
Yes.
Um, so but I'm loving the conversation around chord progressions. And we get into that in the later modules because I think it's important if you're going to learn your numbers. And as a singer, we have this one instrument. So
Mhm.
we're always singing one note. Now, you're a saxophonist.
Yes.
So you're also singing one note with your instrument. But you
Yes.
can play can you play a couple notes at a time? Or some people can. It's
John
kind of what
Coltrane could do it.
it's a Layla Hathaway
We
kind of
actually,
trick.
yeah, we have the equivalent of that is called multiphonics.
Okay.
And it sounds crazy. It sounds like sometimes like zombie sounds, but it is different. It is like the equivalent of that. It doesn't
Right.
sound maybe as not exactly like the human voice, but it's a cool effect.
When you have one instrument, you
Mhm.
get one note. And so you're generally, if you're harmonizing with another instrument. Your job is to be on your note, on your number,
Exactly.
and
Yes,
to have your stuff together.
yeah, we're focused in the same we're mentally thinking about it the same way as vocalists, one note at a time. And that's why we're so focused, we're melody instruments, so whether I'm
Mhm.
playing, whether I'm singing, I'm thinking about melodies. And you're totally right, honey. Like what I'm talking about with chords is a much more advanced topic. I think the numbers is, just starting at basics with getting intervals down and understanding, hey, this is a third, this is a fourth, this is a fifth, is like going to help all of you understand, everyone watching, how that links to chords. I also think as a vocalist, like to know, hey, when I sing an octave or eight
Mhm.
tones, it feels like this, and it's a bigger leap than like a
Mhm.
second. So even
Totally.
visually, even if your pitch was off, you'd still know. It's kind of like if you're gonna run and jump, how far am I jumping? I know with a second, it's gonna maybe just be like a small hop, but like an octave's gonna feel okay. I gotta it's gonna be a
Like
bigger jump.
the beginning of the hopscotch to the very end of the hopscotch. Like, I don't know if
Yes,
you remember hopscotch as a child,
I
but
loved
you
hopscotch.
hop, you go from 1 to 2, and then you hit 3 and 4 together, and then 5, and then 6, 7 together, and then the 8. So
Yes.
that's the octave jump.
Yes, because I'm sure you're very experienced with this, working with vocalists and of different skill levels. But I've seen with some, even friends that I've been working with vocally, there's a little bit of a disconnect of knowing like how far away that note is.
Mhm.
It'll kind of be like, and then the more I'm saying, no, it's like it's actually closer than you think. It's closer,
Right, they
or no,
jump
no,
too
no.
far.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, like, working with the I've been trying to learn how to teach the number system these past
Hmm.
few months. That's been my major task, right? Like
Yeah.
I know how I digest them and how I see numbers. So I use staircase, I use ladder, but I
Mm.
also, it's like you're stepping, but I like staircases because they're going sideways. What we don't want, especially for singers, is we don't want you making a jump that makes you feel like you got to go, like you don't want to, if you're thinking
Right.
up, right? As a vocal coach, you're always going to train your students to go out forward, never go up.
Right.
So even when you're going up or down, you're just going out.
Mm.
You want to go
Yes.
forward to that note. So if you're combining this now with this new layer of thought, and you're thinking, well, now I'm adding numbers to this, and I want to see this staircase. Of course, our inner climb is going to happen where we're like, and you want to go
Yes.
upward.
Right.
So I love this hopscotch idea where we're
Oh,
just
that's
jumping
very
from here
cool.
to there, out forward in front of us.
I love that visualization too, because yes, that's forward. And I could see, and this is also appropriate for saxophone too. Sometimes when we're thinking high and we want to hit the high notes with sax, there's just tension that builds in the body. And that's actually the
Mm.
opposite of what we want. So there's something about the visualization
Yes.
of when we think forward. That's really
It's the
helpful.
same.
Love
That's
that.
and as a vocal coach, I'm always saying the same thing too. Like when we start going for that big note in the song, we're going to tense up our whole body by accident,
Yes.
which we don't want to do.
Right.
So listen, if you guys are joining on Instagram, come and join us over here at singbynumbers.com/live. I have special guest Grace Kelly in the house. We're having a very intellectual
Oh, yeah.
conversation about numbers. We're nerding out together. We love it. And so I'm really excited to have you today, and we get to play a song of yours and talk about analyzing it. So I know if you've been watching this show for a few weeks, I've been sort of giving everybody the exact method that I go to if I'm going to analyze a song, step by step. First step is always finding the root, finding the one, and then different ways to do that. So I'm going to play the song for just a few lines of it. And let's make sure our volume is up. And here we go. You want to give us a plate?
Oh, sure. This is an original song called By the Grave. And, it's a song that when I was writing it, I was thinking about, the emotion that happens when you lose somebody that you deeply love. And I feel like music is just one of the most powerful ways to express ourselves when words can't. And so that was the inspiration for this. But it has two major sections. One is kind of a softer one that's supposed to sound like a music box. And then we go into more of the main melody.
Love it. Here we go. Oh my goodness. I want to keep going, but we're going to go that far. And the reason we're going to stop there is because we get to now play with analyzing this amazing piece. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's gorgeous. And so I just want to make sure, unfortunately, with the technology we have, we can't rewind little sections. We get to play it from the top. So that's what we get. So, for the people who are just learning how to analyze a melody and or a chord structure, I always say find the one first. And I share a few different methods inside of Sing by Numbers for finding the one if you're a beginner. And even if you're a professional singer, but you don't know, I've had some incredible singers who are like, what do you mean by that? So I'd love to hear your take on that, Grace, while I have you here, if you're willing.
Yeah, absolutely. I always like to know where the root is. Sometimes it's very obvious in a song. A lot of times, like the melody might even start on the root, or I always like to say, check the first chord of the song and the last chord, because a lot of times, not always, but it's a really good indicator of what key you're in. So this one is in a minor. You might be able to hear kind of folks listening this darker minor sound. So it's absolutely in a minor key, and actually pretty sure it only uses the minor pentatonic scale as well. So this is a great one to analyze. But this one does not start on the root, actually.
So one of the things, sorry to interrupt. One of the things I always say if you're looking for the one is I always say, check for the bass first. Usually the bass is a dead giveaway. It often is dancing around the one, and it usually lands at a place where you feel like home. Like you feel like,
yes,
I just got there.
Yes.
And your song does that so beautifully. Now, we're not obviously listening for the bass because we have this beautiful melodic thing with strings and sax and a piano, I think I heard.
Yep.
So then if you're not listening for the bass, then you would go to the most obvious melody, which I think in this case is the sax. Do you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're training someone's ear, what would you have them look for in that case?
I do that same process as you actually, because the bass is very helpful with finding the chord, but the melody is going to be where you're going to go. That also will help you find it. I will say it's like particularly tricky, this song, with that opening part with the sax and piano, just to be perfectly honest, because you don't have bass and the piano is not even giving very clear chords. I think when the beat comes in, the drums goes boom, boom, boom. That's like a much easier place to analyze because the bass note comes in.
Let's listen to it one more time. And you guys, if you're in the comments, if you guys are watching from Instagram, come and join us over here at singbynumbers.com/live, where we can see your comments. And if you're here watching and you can hear the song, hit us in the comments with what you think the one is. I know that there's no lyrics in this case, so it might be harder to type. So you're also welcome to join us on the stage. And while we're playing this song, if you come to singbynumbers.com/stage, you can hop up and tell us what note you think is the one. And let's just quiz you that far. Here it goes.
Oh, you're
all right. I think that's a perfect place to stop for a second, because what did happen in that intro is a beautiful journey home.
Mm-hmm.
There is a very intentional, obvious landing place, right? We go places and then we land. You really land the plane. So I hope that gives you guys, you newer viewers, some hints. And if any of you want to hop on stage and say so, I think we actually got a comment. Sax starts on the 3. Are we correct? Not quite. Let's try it again. Oh, thank you, Leilani. She says Grace's song is powerful and beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we know that the comments usually come about 30 seconds later than they type them in. So we always give a little leeway because we know we love technology.
We love technology.
We'll give it 5 more seconds. And then if anybody, let me see what else. Any other guesses? Going once, going twice. Grace, if you will, let us know what the first note is.
Yes. So the first note is 5.
Yeah.
But I think how you find it, and that was just when even Honey was listening to the song at the end, when it lands on that, the feeling of home, that's exactly it. That gives us our root note. So that means that the very first note does start on 5, which is kind of, I will say it's confusing because the 2 notes that I think are the most confusing are actually to interchange are the 1 and the 5.
Oh, interesting. For me, it's always actually, no, you're right. The minor, when we go to the relative minor, I'm often like, wait, that was 1 to 3, right? but it was
Oh,
3 to
that one
5.
can also be confusing too. Yes, because I feel like chord wise, we hear the progression of 5 1 1 5 1 5 1 5 1 5 1. Some John Williams here. Exactly.
Yep.
So because you hear it kind of together a lot, even chord wise, for me, it can feel like sometimes like, is this the 1 or is this the 5? And so this song is, if anyone is getting confused there and being like, I really thought it sounded like the 1. Well, it's the close, friend
Yes.
press on the 5.
Yeah, the thirds and the fifths are the definite, like, most important intervals. If you're just like, I'm just going to learn a few numbers and I just want to start quick and I'm looking for the shorthand and the cheat codes, and come and grab you a third and grab you a fifth. Like, learn those first.
Yes, the third and fifth cocktails for you
That
at
part.
the bar. Yeah.
So now there's a really beautiful color chord in this intro that I would love to talk about. So by the way, we've just been talking about the melody of the saxophone, but we're not talking about what chords you're playing.
Mhm.
And so when you're analyzing, guys, if you're analyzing for numbers, there's 3 ways that numbers play a part. There's the melody, there's the chord structure, and then there's also like tempo and rhythm, which we're not getting into in Sing by Numbers just yet. But I might have some drummers come on and break down some numbers in that way. But let's focus
Mhm.
on these chords. So I'm gonna play on into the section that you said was maybe a little bit more simple.
Mhm.
And let's see about these chords. Actually, maybe we want to go back to the beginning and go through that. Okay, already the bass is doing something for us now. Now it's not just the bass, it's the whole band. But it finally is that dead giveaway, what we were
Right.
discussing earlier. And then what your sax is doing, it lets us know that it's minor. So we're looking for, does it feel happy or sad, haunting
Mhm.
or angelic, right? This is a very like immediate, you saw my face. Yes, if it makes that face.
We mean business. This is some, yeah,
Yeah, it's some stank face
some
music right
stank
here.
face.
Okay, so for me, like the reason I bring that up is because that's a dead giveaway for the 1. So I'm looking for a way to actually stop it and start it from the beginning. But I love technology. Love it. Love. Okay. We're just loving. We're thrilled. All right. For the last time, before we say goodbye to our lovely guest, Grace Kelly, first of all, thank you for honoring us with your amazing intellect, your grace, your beauty, and your beautiful music. Thank you for
Aw.
coming and being a part of Sing by Numbers.
Truly my pleasure. And for everyone watching, listening, doesn't get better than Miss Honey La Rochelle as your teacher and guide, and just such an incredible artist. When you sing, Honey, the angels, they come visit us.
Oh, bless you, sis. Love you so much. I don't feel complete. I have so many more questions. I hope you'll come back and grace us again.
Absolutely. Yes.
But thank you so much for coming today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. And thanks
Give
for
it up
watching,
for
everyone.
Grace Kelly, everybody.
Ah!
So much love.
Much love as well.
And for those of you who are watching, just so you know, I do have a new single coming out in 2 days, which I'm really excited to share. And I'm just going to leave you with this amazing video that is an awesome throwback of my good friend Omar, who is talking about our new single. So peace, love, hair grease, chicken grease. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Me? What can I say about Honey? Fantastic singer. Wicked vocalist. Like a gymnastic in vocals. We've done some wicked music together. We've been on tour. We've even done a duet together called Research. Fantastic. You want to check this out. My name, Omar. And I love her bad. See you later.
Oh, that sounded so good.
Oh, thank you. All right, now we're really saying goodbye. Thanks again. Love you, mean
Oh,
it.
my pleasure. Love you too.
Mwah.